Hey everyone, Cahlen here, and in this video I am going to show you how I make my meal. Basically, it's like kind of like an oatmeal type thing, which has a protein and various other chocolate powder, which is also added to it, and then that's what I carry with me, and then I add water to it. Okay, so I'm going to be showing you what I carry. This is the bag, one of the two bags. This hangs from the side of my belt on either side of my legs, the outside of my legs, and it holds the food. Okay, so I just open this up, and inside is a waterproof. So supposedly the outer bag is waterproof. I think it would probably leak a little bit, but I have another dry bag which is separate from this whole thing, which I put inside the big pouch. Okay, so in here you can see is the chocolate powder, protein powder mix with all kinds of good stuff in it, and also the rolled oats. Everything's organic, so that's super important. Okay, so with that, all I basically need is to have water. Okay, so ideally I'm not carrying the water, but I do have the ability to carry water. So ideally you don't want to carry water because it's really heavy. Like when you fill up your water bottle, you're gonna be like, oh, this bag is way heavier and more uncomfortable now because I'm carrying water. So if you can plan your traveling in a way so you know you'll always be by water when you stop and eat, then you don't need to carry water. Okay, but it also is good to carry with you something which is really lightweight, like this. This is a flexible water bottle. This thing is 2 liters. These things are not expensive, and they are incredibly awesome. You know, but they're so lightweight when there's nothing. I mean, I think I'm probably even going to grab myself another one because they're just so nothing when they're closed, when they're empty, but they can carry a lot of water. Okay, so basically, this is from the spring which is nearby where I'm camping, and basically I just filled this up and brought it down here so I wouldn't have to go up to the spring as often. You know, it's nice to just not have to do an extra chore. So when I do a chore, I will gather more than I normally would have with just my titanium water bottle. Okay, so we got that. We got a titanium spork. This is an important tool. And now we're going to zoom down. This is not zoom, but rotate down and steady the camera. Okay, this is my belt. It has all the stuff on it, lots of different stuff. Here's where I keep the titanium water bottle. Right, this is where I'm going to be mixing all the food. So this is like my, you know, like I said in the previous video, it's kind of like almost my kitchen. I guess there's a few more aspects of my kitchen. This contains healthy oils, so it's avocado oil, flaxseed oil, and basically caprylic acid, which is the best of the MCT oils. Okay, so it's like a super good oil, which you don't, right, these are things you wouldn't want to cook with, but because I'm just soaking my food with water, this stuff actually goes really good with this. Okay, so basically I am currently, you know, experiment with how much, but currently I'm doing 12 scoops per meal, and I have about 3 of those a day, and I've lost count because I'm talking, but I think I'm around 6 or 7 right now. Oh shoot, you add the water first, that's important. Don't follow these instructions so far, at least not with the water part. Okay, here we go. This water has been cleaned with chlorine dioxide. I wouldn't be drinking it from a spring without having doing that. Okay, so I fill it probably about 2/3 full. Actually, I did put a bunch of food in there, so a little bit more water now. Okay. Now, yeah, about 5 more, I think. Okay, and then I take the oil, and you don't need very much oil, just a little bit, and as you leave this to soak, you shake it up and stuff like that, it's going to absorb into everything, so it's going to be a better way for your body to absorb oil, because oil usually comes with other things, and so when we just have oil by itself, it's a little weird for the body. Okay, so basically that's it. I shake it up, and then I'm just gonna let it sit for 10 minutes. You don't really even need to let it sit because it's going to continue to soak once you've kind of swallowed it, but it does thicken up and become more filling and pleasurable to ingest if it has had time to actually soak. Okay, and also if you can put this like in a solar oven, or that doesn't, you don't want it to get so hot that it's like boiling, because you don't want to hurt those oils, but heating it up also is, it just makes it a lot more pleasant to drink, especially when it's cold outside. So this is something that is super healthy for you. I basically designed this. I've been trying to find like the perfect survival food for a long time, and I've tried lots of different stuff, and this is kind of the best of what I've come up with so far, right? It's the least amount of work. There's lots of really good stuff in here, in that powder, and it's based on lots of different things. It pulls things from the Dave Asprey's bulletproof coffee type thing. There's no coffee in here. It pulls things from Dr. Amin Ra's amino elixir and all kinds of different stuff, and also in customizing it to what I'm looking for, which is to be able to carry it out into the wilderness and not need to cook it and not need to carry all the tools for this is the only thing I really need to carry. I don't even need the spork. I could just put it in, with my hands. And so, it's very minimalistic. So anyways, what I want to do next, I don't currently get tired of this. Every time I have it, I'm looking forward to it, and I enjoy it, even if it's the only thing I'm having that day. But I do want to have a little bit of variety. So since I have 2 bags, I want to have one bag with this, the chocolate deliciousness, and then another bag with something that's like savory. And so what I want to do, something with spices, something kind of Ayurvedic-ish. And so what I want to start with is basically turmeric. So it would still be the oatmeal. I think oatmeal is best for a lot of reasons for this, and also for me, because I'm Irish, it is it's like kind of the hereditary diet in a way. I'm Irish Scottish, and that's kind of like one of their main crops. Okay, so I feel really good about this food source. So I want to have another flavor, and so I want to use oats, except the powder that I'll make will not be a chocolate powder. It'll be very similar, probably have all the same proteins in it, but it will just have, instead of the chocolate and the sweetener, it'll have the turmeric, which is kind of replacing the chocolate, and it will have black pepper, which enhances the effects of turmeric in the body, and also a salt, but it's a salt which contains potassium, magnesium, normal salt, and probably a little bit of sodium bicarbonate. Okay, so that will give me some other things that the other one doesn't give, and I can alternate between them, also depending on how I'm feeling and what my body wants at the time. So anyways, I wanted to say that if you are interested in helping me to generate that, because basically I would have actually already been experimenting with this, but it's kind of a little bit, because it's a little bit expensive for me to acquire these things, because in order for me to feel comfortable using turmeric, for example, which they often will just spray with lead to make it brighter, the more preferable color, and a lot of turmeric that you wouldn't think was bad is bad, and if it's what's going on, that's really bad. Okay, so it's just like, I know turmeric's really good, but I don't want to take a risk. So basically, the only turmeric that I feel comfortable with would be the turmeric that comes from the Health Ranger store, because Mike Adams, he basically eats that stuff every single day. He's extremely aware of all these problems. He has a lab that tests for all these problems, so he's just like, well, I would have turmeric if it came from him. Okay, but of course that stuff really expensive. Pepper is very similar in that pepper tends to be really high aflatoxin, and I'm pretty sure they test for aflatoxin, so the pepper would need to come from him too. So anyways, it's kind of expensive, and I don't really have the funds to do that type of stuff. So I just want to say, if you have been appreciating my videos lately and you would like to help me acquire some of those spices so that I can experiment and try and make this a thing, then you can go to cahlen.org/gift, and you can ideally you donate in Monero, like it's a cryptocurrency, but it's a private cryptocurrency. So if you're not in crypto, you'll be like, I don't know if I can help you with that. And I think that may be the only way you would be able to help me with this, because I don't think they have gift cards at MyCahlen. I guess you could just order it and send it to me. That'd be cool. That'd be totally cool. So anyways, if anyone wants to help me with that, you're enjoying these videos. All right. That's like my commercials, right? Everyone has oh, this other place, it's a great shave, it's all this type of stuff, and I'm just like, hey, you know, I could use some stuff in my mouth. Help me get some stuff in my mouth.